What's good? What's good with everybody today? Welcome. 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 Let's see where we can go with this. Just sending it to a few people, a few groups that don't really mess with me, but I've been sending it to them for 2 years now, and maybe a couple of them have finally started working with me and sharing the show. Do me a favor, share the show. You'd be surprised. Send it to someone you love. Send it to somebody you care about. What's good? What's good with everybody? I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna be a short show. I don't really have much on the table today. I don't have a lot going on the table today as far as topic. Couple things that I discovered on the way in. A little bit of news. I don't know if it's news. Some of you don't care. Some of you probably laughing because that's how some people are. But I'll go over that here in a second. Let me get set up here. Appreciate those that came in. I'm a little bit late, but I'm right on time. Okay. Jenny says she's just popping in for a bit. So am I. So am I. Let me say what's up to a few people. My apologies. Like I said, I'm still wet, doing what I do. Almost didn't make it. Almost didn't make it today, but you know what? For those that come in and say, "Hey, I'm about to tune in, I'm about to watch, listen, and all that," I just want to make sure that I stay consistent for people. That's just me. And so here I am. Here we are. Let's have a conversation. Let me get this thing down real fast. I read a few emails, pardon me, messages from yesterday's show, from our conversation yesterday, and I wanted to share some of that with you. And then I want to express myself because I'm lonely. And if you watch yesterday's show, you know what I mean when I say I'm lonely. Let's see here where we at. There we go. Miss Lucky Charm is in the building. AP is in the building. Angela Kinney is in the building. Says sounding mellow in here. Yeah, I needed a chill from all the boom, boom, bang, bang, and the bitch better have my money, all that old shit. You know, I love my smooth jazz. I love my orchestra. I do love that. You know, I love it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's a chill down for me. Oh, when it rain outside and I can listen to a little bit of Miles Davis. Whew, jeez. You would think a brother straight out of a Spike Lee movie. Yeah, I like me some jazz. I ain't gonna lie. I like orchestra jazz though. And it's my thing. It's my lay down music. It's my chill. It's my put me in chill mode. You know, I can really think um, with that. Happy Thursday, Brenda Early says. Same to you, sis. Um, Jenny says she's just here for a minute. So am I. So am I. I do want to thank all the people that like and share. I do want to thank everybody that likes and share. Everybody's not for us though, bro. Sis, everybody, you know, I got some DMs yesterday about my take on the incident with the little kids out in the street. Excuse me, they weren't quite out in the street, but they were swinging on the police. I played the 26-second clip, and you know, people trip me out because it's straight hypocrisy. It's straight hypocrisy. Let me say what's up. There's Steven Speed. He's in the building. What's good with you, bro? Tracy Dillingham, how you doing, sis? Denise, hey, what's going on? She said, hey, Wyatt, what's happening? D, I'll call you here in a day or two. I promise you. I got a little bit going on. I'm going to make an hour out of this show, and then I'm going to get back to doing what I do, and then I'll try to give you a call this evening if possible. I'll text before I call. Jenny says, my comment is only one that I see. Going to out and come back in. Okay. Oh, wait, never mind, she says. Okay, I thought I might have had some technical difficulties. Jay Young, what's good, young man? Let's see here. Can everybody hear me okay? Because I'm seeing that maybe we do have a little technical difficulty. I'm not quite sure. If you can see me, hit the thumbs up or send me something saying I'm good or whatever. Just let me know. Much appreciated. But, you know, I'm not going to hammer down too hard on what I got to say about how people feel about what I said. But I don't think I said anything different. Thanks, AP. He said we're good. I don't think I said anything different about that situation yesterday. And I'm not going to stick to it long. I said what I said. Matter of fact, I didn't even say all I wanted to say about the kids out in the community swinging at the police. It wasn't just the swinging at the police. It wasn't just that. There was a whole lot to that video. And I knew some chaos agents was going to be up on they fucking, right on they, I knew they would be in their booth. I knew they would be in their booth scoping out the situation and make an attempt to attack how I felt or what I said about it. I knew the shit was coming. I knew it was coming, but that's cool. That's all right. See, you got to fall back sometime and just watch what people say about situations. If the shit don't make sense, it questions. You got to question everything they say at a certain point. Like, wait a minute, hold on. You lightweight trying to justify them kids acting like that? You know, I heard a motherfucker, and I seen in the comments, I seen a dude literally say that if you got something negative to say about that situation, that you're an elitist. Black folks putting black folks down, those elitist people. What? Damn. That's how you got to connect? You got to connect by bullshitting people? You got to connect to our community by trying to justify bullshit? It ain't, I said it on the show. I said it's not the kids' fault, which we all know it's not them kids' fault. We know it's not them children's fault. Come on, man. Ain't nobody even feeling that way, thinking that way. No one even said that. But when you can sit back and say it's the police, and you don't know how them kids feel about the police, them kids listen, man, the police ain't never done nothing to them kids. Now, I'm not saying that the police didn't get into it with maybe their uncle, their mamas. First of all, know the situation before you start judging other people who actually know what was going on that day. before you say something about how they feel or their opinion. The police was there to serve a search warrant. So that means somebody in there that's over 18 years old has some criminal shit pending. They're wanted by the law. So when you got kids living in that environment, chances are the household is steering them children to that type of personality and that mentality. That's what the fuck it is. And you're going to sit back and try to act like we are elitists for saying that house is tore up. Them kids outside in drawers and Pampers. And you want to try to make it seem like that's some real regular shit? So you must have missed the Boys in the Hood movie. Remember when the little girl, when the girl who was high on crack, baby was running out in the street? What that baby have on? Where is it normal? I'm not saying that it don't happen in communities, but is it normal for children to run around the community in underwear and Pampers? We see it, but do we see responsible parents in the hood? I don't give a fuck where you at. Do we see responsible parents letting their kids run around the streets in the community with Pampers and drawers on? Call me an elitist if you want to. Your kids don't run around looking like that. Your kids don't do that shit. So don't try to justify somebody else's kids, because you know better than how your kids like that. You know better. Fuck out of here. Shit didn't work though. It didn't work, because I'm sure other people would like, well, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, we black and all. We pro-black. We black. All right, cool. But that's just crossing the line, trying to stick up for some of that bullshit. And we all know that's a gateway to the future that a lot of people made the comments. I don't have a problem with a person saying, oh, we already see that key future, because the parents are, they are the guidance to these children's future. And if they starting out letting these kids cuss and fuss at the police, imagine what they're going to say and do to the school teachers. We left that part out. Imagine what they're going to say to the 75-year-old woman that's crossing the street. We left all that shit out. If these children will say and be that disrespectful and put their hands on the police, they'll touch anybody. Anybody. They have total disregard for authority. Don't be shocked if this is one of them kids that put their hands on their own mama. Y'all don't think that type of shit go on? Who in here know that kids put their hands on their mamas? They put their hands on their mamas, man. And you motherfuckers sitting here talking about them elitist ass black folks want to talk down on us. You don't know what them kids didn't experience with the police. I bet you they getting worse experience from their parents than they are the police. But you want to try to justify some shit. Oh, them kids, you don't know what them kids been through. They've been through hell because of where they were born and who's raising them. I said it. Cancel me now. Fuck it. I'm on some Dave Chappelle shit. Telling the truth about some shit that need to be told the truth about. But pay attention. Pay attention to the people that deliver these messages. It's funny how they always protecting a certain lifestyle, or protecting a certain class of people, protecting and trying to justify bullshit. But they ain't part of none of that. They don't live like that. Al Sharpton don't live in the projects. Maxine Waters don't live in the projects. And then when somebody step up and really try to correct the problem, if they got a little bit of money or something, or they're an elitist, the fuck out of here. How we ever gonna get shit fixed? The ones that don't say anything, I ain't gonna say they don't care, but they not doing anything. And I'm waiting for the day for a motherfucker to step to me and say to me, well, Wyatt, you got all that to say. What you doing? I'm waiting for that day. Because you can't mean me when you say, well, y'all doing all that talking. You ain't doing nothing for the community. That could be true in some cases, but not over here. But I'm reading these DMs. It ain't no dirty DMs, but some of the DMs, there was a couple that was on the lines of, Wait a minute, bro. You know them kids, they just kids. Kids gonna be kids. No, this was different than kids being kids. This is different. This is not kids being kids. Kids don't tell the police, man, fuck you. At 3 years old, 4 years old, you know what? I don't care what color the kid is. A kid with that type of mentality, I bet he got problems saying his ABCs. I bet he can't, I bet he can't do his ABCs, but I bet he knows some rap songs. I know he knows some hooks to some fucking rap songs. I bet you that. I bet his math skills ain't to par. I bet he ain't start reading yet. But you doing all this checking of the police, you capping on the police shoes and shit like that. Man, get out of here, bro. Who would even say that this shit, who would try to justify this? Who would try to make it seem like it's something different? Anything different than what it really is. Shit, you can go see another parent who treat their kids just like that, and they would have looked at that situation and been like, shit, they need to go get that boy mama. Where that boy mama at? Shit, he got a filthy ass mouth. And that's coming from somebody that's probably raising their kid just like that. And we wondering why these guys are going in at 18, 19 years old in stores pushing 75-year-old or 62-year-old men around. We wondering where that mentality comes from. It's because our men, our real men in our community, don't check dumb shit like that. We let it go by. We let it fly. They just being kids. If the police wasn't so fucked up, the kids wouldn't be acting like this. Get the fuck out of here. So you telling me those black police officers who work in the beat in their own community deserve to be talked to like that by 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds and 9 and 11-year-olds in the background co-signing the shit? That's normal where you live? Kids outside in underoos and dirty ass Pampers with no shoes on, shirt and shoes off, no pants, nothing. That's normal. Because we've seen it. Everybody's seen it. If you ever grew up in the hood, you've seen some little badass kid who mama was probably on drugs or who mama wasn't taking care of their kids all the way live. We all seen it. And we know exactly what was going on in that house. So don't try to make this some normal shit. Anybody that normalizes this shit, you better be careful. You better be careful how they coming at you. You best be careful. They don't have our interest at heart. They don't. And I said what I said on it yesterday, and I'm sticking to it. Bad parenting. Chances are that kid don't have a daddy in his house to knock his head off his shoulders when he start calling somebody a bitch. Where do you think he got it from? Mama's boyfriend. Mama calling everybody a bitch in the house. Mama uses anger to discipline. He's standing around kids and probably teenagers and grown folks picking up the behavior, capping on them on the police officer's shoes, talking about dirty ass, dusty. He 3 years old and half flame ass cap. Dirty ass, dusty ass church shoes. That's out of the 80s playbook. Dusty ass church shoes. That's some shit we said. We wasn't 3 and 4 years old. And I just wanted to get that off my chest because I read the DMs and then I heard other shit talking about elitists. So everybody who said yesterday, keep in mind, everybody yesterday who said that it's the parents' fault, these kids aren't being raised right, and it's a goddamn shame. If you heard any of that, if you was one of those people that said anything like that, there's people in our community that think we are elitists, that we just talk about our people. Are you one of them who said it? I am. I got my hands up. I am. I'm in the front of the line who feel that way. I'm vocal who feel that way. And let me ask you this. If you okay with that behavior and think it's a phase at 3 years old and 4 years old, that's a phase. If you think it's okay, let me ask you, are your kids like that? Were your kids like that at 3 and 4 years old? Why not? Because of you, right? Here's my other question to you. Are your kids like that? Are your grandkids like that? What would you do if you had a daughter or a son and you seen that video and those were your grandkids? How would you feel? First of all, if my daughters had children like that, I would definitely feel like a failure as a father. They are a reflection of me. My children are a reflection of me. My children's children are also a reflection of me. So I would definitely take some blame. But I can tell you right now, some kindergarten teacher gonna have her motherfucking, she gonna have her hands full. Y'all already know that. Some kindergarten teacher, first grade teacher, they got their hands full. Come when that little dude get in school, both of them. I said what I said. Call me an elitist if you want to, but everybody on here who made a comment and was like, "Whoa, that shit was crazy." Nah, that's mama and daddy in the nah. You can't have them outside. Nah, you can't have them out there. First of all, understand what's going on. If you don't know the story of why they were even out there and why the police was at that house, they were at that house to serve a warrant, felony warrant. That still don't justify it, right? The police ain't had to come roll up like that. Said what I said. Let me ask you guys something. Well, let me just say this couple things in the news, and I'm gonna blow right by it because I know y'all don't really care. But did y'all hear about Trump's ex-wife, Ivana? Ivana Trump died. They found her dead. But shit, she was like 72, 73 years old. So I don't see foul play. I haven't read the story all the way, but I just want to bring it to the store to the platform. Ivana Trump was found dead. They had 3 children together. And they were married in the 70s, I believe, or some shit like that. I don't remember. I read a little bit of the story. I haven't got sunk my teeth into it. It don't really matter. But when you're 72, 73 years old and you're found dead, chances are it's some type of, natural cause or something of that nature. She ain't worked a day in her life. So it ain't like she had a broke back or some shit like that. It wasn't that at all. But and I don't mean that disrespectful. I don't speak down or bad on the dead. I'm just saying she's never really had a real job. She wasn't clocking in on nobody's card, on time cards. She wasn't doing that type of shit. But she passed. They showed up. She was non-responsive, all that. Okay. And the stories will be coming up talking about some other shit here soon. Trump killed her for insurance money. He broke. All that old shit will be coming sooner than later. He probably, he did it. He about to get indicted on some other shit. So he wanted to kill her before he went to jail. Y'all make up shit. You love it. Make up shit. So, I mean, I might as well give you a head start. I'll give you some material to work with. There you go. All right, what else we got? Oh, here's a good one. I don't even want to talk about it, but I want to bring it to your attention. The Ohio State Fair is coming up this summer, right? It might be going on now. I don't know. But with this new Ohio law, this new law in Ohio with carrying guns, they're allowing you to bring your gun to the Ohio State Fair. Oh, I got some people in this room in our Wyatt-Live family group that they got a lot to say about that shit. You wasn't going to the state fair, no way. But I'm just saying, they gonna have a lot to say about this. How do you feel about people being able to carry their gun, conceal their gun at the Ohio State Fair up in Columbus? I believe it's in Columbus. I think it's in Columbus, right? Are you going or are you not gonna go now? Because you can carry your guns. See, this is one of the reasons, quite frankly, that I don't do the streets. I don't go out. I'm lonely. But I don't go out. And one of the reasons why I don't go out is because it's not what I'm going to do to somebody. I'm not afraid what somebody will do to me because I pissed them off or something. I'm afraid what somebody going to do, period. And I might just happen to be in the way. I just don't want to be in the way of somebody's nonsense. You dig? I don't want to be part of somebody's situation. Oh, well, you can't be a prisoner in your home, Wyatt. I'm not. When we built our house, I said, kinda I am. I said, this is what I want because I don't want to have to go nowhere. Y'all should have seen it when when we was locked in during COVID. I didn't have to go to the movies. That shit didn't bother me at all. I'm a homebody anyway. So when I said I'm gonna build a house, I want everything in my house where I don't have to go anywhere. That was the sole purpose of it. So not going to the Ohio State Fair, that's probably not on my agenda this year. My daughters wanted to go, but I don't know. I mean, they talking about them carrying guns. Here's what y'all don't understand. People been carrying guns to shit like that anyway. You just didn't know it. That gun carrying been going on anyway. Now that the law is in spot, now everybody who chaos agents want to bitch and complain about it. But what y'all don't know is people was carrying guns anyway. They had permits. It ain't nobody going to the gun place. No legal citizen just going up to Premier gun range, buying a gun, and not taking some practicing or some skills or taking some classes. And just because you don't have to get a permit, now you're just gonna carry it everywhere you go with no training, no nothing. You know who do that? I only know one group of people that do that type of shit. Y'all know the people that do that just go buy a gun, don't have no training, don't shoot bottles, don't shoot targets, don't shoot paper, don't do none of that shit. You know the people who carry guns that never practice? They're called criminals. They're called criminals. They're called people that have guns to intimidate people. They use guns to rob people. They use guns to do other shit. They don't have any training. They don't care nothing about crossfire. They don't care who get caught up. They have one goal: in and out, get in and out, achieve my goal of getting hitting this lick. That's it. That's it. So am I fear of just like a random person carrying a gun with no training, no target practice, none of that? They just a legal citizen able to go buy a gun legally with no permit, no training, no nothing. I just don't see who would go buy a gun. First of all, most people who've never been around guns don't even know how to load a gun. Can you load a 9mm? First of all, we know you put the clip in from the bottom, right? But I'm asking you, can you put bullets inside of the clip of a 9mm? How many people with no experience could just pick a 9mm up and know the mechanisms of the gun? How many people can do that? How many people can go buy a 38 or anything and not have some form of training with that gun? They just know how to use it. They know to put a bullet in it and to squeeze it. It's way more technical than that. All guns. Most kids, I hate to say this, most kids, that little kids that end up with guns and they tragically shoot somebody by accident, is because they got it from their parent that didn't lock it up. It was already loaded and they pulled the trigger. You help them through 90% of the process of having a gun and a bullet in the chamber, having a gun loaded, cocked, and ready to go. All the kid had to do was add the squeeze. And that's why that's where trouble began. That's where tragedy starts. But for the most part, give a kid that don't know nothing about a gun. Give a kid that don't know nothing about a gun. Give him the gun, some bullets off to the side. He wouldn't even know how to load it. He wouldn't know how to put bullets in a clip of a 9mm. He wouldn't know how to do that. It's complicated if you haven't been taught. How many of y'all know how to do it and never had training on it? I think y'all missing my point. I know y'all saying watch it on TV, Google, there's instructions and all that stuff. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is most of those kids that have been in these tragedy accidents of accidentally shooting somebody in the chest or in the back of the head or something by playing with a gun, they never went through the process of loading the guns. These were guns that they happened to come up through shoe boxes in their parents' house. Grabbed a gun and they were playing with it. It's already loaded. One's in the chamber and boom. I'm not talking about kids who go steal guns and then want to try to figure out how to work it. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the tragedies of the death that are caused by guns with kids. Now, you best believe there's some kids that's wanting to be gangsters that hang around other kids that are already gangsters. And they've been taught by gangsters. And they pass it down. We ain't talking about street kids. What was my question? Tracy said that wasn't your question. Why? What was my question? I thought I was talking about kids that made random mistakes with guns. Not kids that are out here on the streets playing with guns. I'm talking about when people get in these accidents. You know, that happens a lot. It happens a lot. It happens two kids playing with a gun in the house and it was the daddy's gun or the mama's gun or somebody like that. And then when they shoot, they didn't load it or anything. It just happened to be there and they was playing with it and it was an accidental shooting. That happens a lot more. That's the most common problem in that. Let's take a phone call. Excuse me. Good evening, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Wyatt. It's Tracy. How are you?
Hey, Tracy. How you doing? What's good with you, sis?
I'm not going to be long because I know you on 10 and I had a bad day. I got a headache. But what I was saying was I know how to load one. And I had to teach myself. And I was telling you that I practiced while watching TV, loading the magazine. But what happened first was my first gun was a 380. And, you know, that magazine is much easier, much quicker to put the bullets down in the magazine. So when I got my 9mm, and you know how tight it is, and there's 15 down there, and you're trying to constantly push to get down there, I'm doing this without an automatic loader thing, you know, that loader that you can slide them in there real quick.
Yep.
So what I do to build my speed and try and get my thumb used to that irritation and that pain is I just sit and watch TV and I just push them down in there and I just do it. Then I release them all, let them all out, and then I do it again. I do it like 2 or 3 times until my thumb goes numb, of course.
Yeah.
So yes, I was answering your question. I know how to do it. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. I don't even know how a kid could do it. They probably just put one in there and fire it off. Because try putting 15 down there, you get down to 8, and you're like, I can't push no more.
You can't. It's hard. So, the more you put in, the higher you get up to the top of the clip, the harder it is to put one in. You would think another one can't fit.
Right. And sometimes it feels like that.
Right.
But when my uncle, we went to the range one day, and I saw him with his, you know, automatic loader. I said, that's what that thing is? Because it came in my whole little carrying case that the gun came in. I didn't know what that little square open thing was.
Right.
And he said, yeah, that's what it is. He said, I don't even put it, and he just showed me how to do that. But I found that to be harder because you have to almost have it exact to push it down in there to get the next one in there. So I said, man, I just keep using my thumb. But if I had to shoot somebody and I fired off 15, I'm dead because I ain't no way in hell I'm gonna be able to load the next one real fast. So that's why I sit and try and build my speed. But that's all I was saying.
I got you. Do you oil? Do you keep your clip oiled so the bullets will slide a little easier?
I have not, and I heard that I'm supposed to do that. And I try and go to the range, but my husband has been lazy because he's always like, after I go to the range, my shoulder hurts because of the kickback of the gun. So we haven't gone. And I know you're supposed to fire it so that it'll, you know, stay working properly and all of that.
Right.
But my uncle is, you know, the gun person and the gun collector, and he knows all about that. So that's really who I really need to get with to get all that gun safety and gun protocols and you know, keeping the upkeep on the gun. That's what I really need to be with.
Hey Tracy, you got time to answer one question for me?
Yeah, I do.
What's your thoughts on guns being up at the state fair, Ohio State Fair? You know, they're allowing guns to come in, and if you carrying one, you carrying one. How do you feel about that?
I don't like that. It's kind of scary. Just because you might have 2 different groups of people get into something, you know what I mean? And, you know, I know you don't believe in the OK Corral and all of that, but that's all it takes is two opposing groups of people to get into something and then pop, 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 and everybody's running. I mean, it's happened before, you know. I
Exactly.
mean,
Exactly.
I don't know. I just don't like it.
It happened before that law was in place, right? So it's
It
not
did.
something that can happen that hasn't happened before.
I think it did happen before the law was in place, but now everybody feels like they have this right and this freedom, and you know everybody wants to walk around with the gun on the hip and their chest stuck out. So you know,
Tracy?
I just think it makes the alert a little more heightened for me.
Wait a minute,
I mean, maybe call me paranoid. I don't know.
No, you're
but
not.
That's just
You're
how
not
I feel
paranoid.
about it.
But what paranoia is sometimes okay. But I'm just gonna say this to you. Let me ask you something, and if you know you don't have to say the name. I just want to know yes or a no. Do you know anybody since this new law has been in effect? Do you know of anybody personally who has said, I'm about to go buy me a gun? They actually went and bought the gun and they never came back. They don't have any training. They don't know how to work the gun. They just went and bought the gun. Do you know anybody that's done that yet?
I don't, but what I will tell you is when I first got my 9mm and I started really going to the gun shows every weekend at the Sharonville Convention Center, I kind of questioned some of the people that I saw up there that were just buying guns. Now, let me not put out too much of a description. You all can use your imaginations, but we had a time when we went up there and there was a group of guys that were walking around together. They had big wads of money that they were just holding in their hands, just walking up to vendors. Yeah, I want that right there. And they're getting these AK-15s, and you know, everybody that probably were gun collectors or you know knew how to fire the guns were just like, why are they so thirsty? You know what I mean? That's how it came off. Like I got $1,000 right here. Which one can I get? You know, and then they started looking at us like, why are you zipping through the line? Because my husband bought a piece, but he's already got his concealed permit, so he didn't have to stand there for the background. And then they're looking at us like, well, who are these people? Right. You know, so I could just tell that they didn't know how the process worked.
Let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
Were they white or black?
They were black.
Okay, so
they were under 30.
Okay, so you do realize that you're probably looked upon as being privileged in that case. I know I just lost a few people, but you know how some, like you just said, when they turned around and looked at y'all and they was like, well, who are they? Why are they able to move through so fast? Because they don't understand the process, right?
So, yeah, we probably were looked at as privileged, and then some of the callers that are listening to on your show are probably looking at me like I'm stereotyping, but it is what it is.
No.
That's what I saw. That's how they were acting, and I could just tell that they were just ready to go buy some guns, and they just didn't know how the process worked.
Well, I understand that, but I'm gonna tell you something. There's some people that understand exactly what you're saying, and they know what you mean, but they will definitely be a chaos agent and try to spin your words and your whole meaning and your whole demeanor of this situation. They will try to make you out to be the bad guy because of your judgment, which a lot of people try to use that word judgment and try to use it against us. Like, for instance, the little kids that were talking crazy to the police. Tracy, do you know there's people? Today. Yeah, do you know did you watch the show yesterday? Did you hear us talking about it yesterday? Okay, so do you know that everybody? I thought I seen you make a comment. Do you know everybody on our show who made a comment about how ridiculous that was and how trifling it was in some cases, in many cases? Do you know there's people out there calling us that they're saying that we are elitists because?
Well, I've heard that word thrown around quite a bit on different topics that have gone around, and I laugh.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? That's ridiculous. And see, what happens is you better be careful when you hear people saying shit. When Tracy, if I heard you was doing, if I seen you was living a certain kind of way, and I was trying to correct it, I would try to pull you off to the side or whatever and be like, hey sis, that's just not a good look. You know what I'm saying? But for you to turn around and tell me, oh, you think you better than me, you an elitist and all that, then how are we ever going to fix each other or help the situations if people aren't approachable? If situations aren't approachable, how do we repair them? How do you go tell a 17-year-old girl who has a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old? How do you teach that young girl if her mom and them ain't doing it? How do you go off and do it? How do we approach our kids to make our other kids better? How do we do it
well, without being
criticized by our own people?
Get where I'm at. Because if you have little kids and you haven't raised them to adulthood and you're still trying to get where I'm at, shut up talking to me. Because the kids that were cussing and fussing and of that age, I have grandkids that age. So get somewhere and sit down and watch, because you're not finished and you don't know what path your child is going to take. That's my answer to that.
Okay.
Keep living, keep raising yours.
One last question.
And keep praying that they turn out okay.
One last question for you, sis, in that regard.
Yeah.
In that regard, and I'll let you go. I know you got things going on. How do I ask this question?
Straight out, just ask.
You know I will, but I'm trying to figure out. It's a couple questions in one, basically. How the kids? How do you think it's an excuse of how those kids approach the police officers? Do you think it's an excuse, the fact that the tensions are high in the air of police relations with the citizens in that city? Do you think that's a fair breakdown of those kids are probably that way because of what the police are doing in those communities? Do you feel that that's a fair breakdown?
Here's what I feel, and I guess it's kind of twofold. I feel that kids are sponges, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they pick up and they do everything that they see. And I'm that old school parent, always have been, that kids don't need to sit amongst grown folks.
There you go.
So if kids are sitting amongst grown folks and they hear F the police, and they get those kids at that age get to sit and watch CNN, and those kids, and I'm not saying those kids like I'm an elitist, first of all.
No, I know what you're saying.
If those kids,
hey, you say what you say. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, if they at the barbecue and they see you smoking and they see you drinking and doing what grown folks do, what choice do they have? They're going to mimic what they see, So the fact that a kid of that age is forming words and using them in a constructive sentence only tells me that they sit around grown folks all day. My mother used to tell me, get your ass outside and go play.
There you go.
I couldn't sit around grown folks, but that's what kids nowadays do, because, people say, I don't hide nothing from my kids, and my kids don't get the real deal. And okay, well, expect some real consequences, because they're going to be out here acting just like you grown. So that's my answer.
All right. I appreciate it. One last question, because I'm about to talk about something else. I just want to know, on social media, have you seen this new challenge? Those challenges like Milk Crate Challenge and all that. They have this new challenge out, and it's right up the alley of what we've been talking about with these kids. And that is, this challenge is going around. I wish I would have brought the video. Maybe I'll bring it tomorrow. But it's a new challenge out that they have on Instagram or something like that. And it's a parent, a mama, more like mamas, it was all mothers. Mothers walking into the kids' room. They knock and they go in and they say, hey, put your shoes on. It's the put your shoes on challenge. Have you seen that one yet?
That's the mama want to fight me, so I need you to fight the child.
Exactly. Have you seen that one yet?
My cousin in San Antonio actually did that with her kid. I was just like, oh, here we go.
Now, see, I think we need to have that conversation, because basically, let me tell y'all how it's going. The put your shoes on challenge is a mother knocking on. It was predominantly moms, wasn't it, Tracy? It was all pretty much mothers. Mothers go in and say to their daughter, hey, go put your shoes on. She'll be on the couch chilling, doing whatever they do. Put your shoes on. Daughter would say, why? She'd say, because I'm about to go fight Miss Early. And if her daughter jump in, I want you to fight her daughter. And you look for the reaction of the kid. If the kid, some of the kids was like, okay, let's go. Let's get it. And then there were some kids that had this little look on their face like, fight who? You know what I mean? And I think that's
right.
I think we need to look at that a little bit. It's one thing, like my mother, who was not very confrontational in the hood, but they knew not to deal with her like that. She would never come knock on my door and be serious and say, hey, I'm about to go fight Miss Louise. All right. And if her son jump in, I want you to fight his ass, Randy. She would never say that. Now, I'm going to be honest. There was a time in my life where my mama was in some shit and she didn't have to come knock on. I mean, it was just in front of me. And I went, you know, and I'm like, okay, I got you. I got my mama back. I'm under 10 years old, though. You know, I'm a young dude. And it's like some shit pop off and she get into it with somebody and I'm there. But it wasn't I had my mama's back. If somebody would have jumped in or jumped her or whatever, we would have been swinging all together. But I think this challenge is interesting because it says a lot about a parent who could go say that to their kid. And the reaction that I'm seeing from some kids is, mama, go sit your ass down. You know you ain't about to fight. Sleep.
That would be my kid.
You ain't going to fight sleep, let alone somebody else. So get your ass in there, mama. We ain't going to fight nobody. And then you have some kids that be like, Mom, you sure you want to do that? You sure you want to do that? Is there some other way we can handle this? And then you got some kids that smiled and was on 10 and ready to go. Where they at? Let's go get them. Yeah, okay, Mom.
So what do you think the talk should be about?
Say it again.
I said, so what do you think the talk should be about?
I think we should look at, I think everybody should do that with, I don't think everybody should do it with a kid. I think it says a lot about how you raise your child, how they perceive, how they take it when you come at them with that.
Oh, so you saying if they jump up and put their shoes on, like, let's go.
It say a lot about the parent. It say a lot about the parent, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Because the parent should already have a child that's on, you know, should be more of a settled down, like don't instigate, don't be part of a problem. That's one thing I taught my kids is when you see a problem going on, go the other way. Whether you are in the situation or if you see two people beefing over there, you don't need to watch them argue and fight. You don't even need to be around all that. So for me to walk in, if I went and knocked on my youngest daughter's door right now, and I said, you know, old ass Fred down the street, they got all that yard and shit, you know, he been beefing with me. I'm about to go down there and knock his ass out. And you know, his daughter is down there too. So if she jump in, I want you to knock her out. My daughter will look at me like I'm 10 karat crazy. Cause she would say, Daddy, now you didn't teach us to be like that. So why you want me to be like that right now?
Right.
But now if my daughter seen me getting jumped in my front yard, they would come out and do what they do. You see, that's a different thing, but I ain't about to premeditate some shit. You know, I'm not going to premeditate a fight and then go grab my daughter and say, let's go get their ass. She'd look at me like I'm crazy.
I think we've become a society.
Sorry, Tracy, you fell out on us. Can you hear me? I think Tracy, I think we lost you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, the last thing you said that we heard was, I think we've become a society, and then you fell off.
Hold on, let me stay for 1 second. I'm trying to multitask.
No, take your time.
I had to let my dog out. Hold on 1 second. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I said, I think we've become a society of bored individuals, and that's just what we do now is make up stuff to kill time or to whatever. I don't know, to entertain. Some of the stuff is overboard. Like I remember a couple of years ago, there was a cinnamon challenge where everybody was swallowing cinnamon, and hell, somebody might have even died. I think we just do some dumb shit. I just, yeah. I don't know.
You think?
Yeah.
We do.
I think so.
We do.
Walking on milk crates and ending up in the ER is dumb to me. We got to find a more constructive way to pass our time. And I know that COVID got everybody kind of bored and in the house. I get that, but we got some other stuff going on. It's time to snap out of it and find something a little more constructive to do.
I agree with all of that. Okay, Tracy, you got anything else? I appreciate you answering all my questions. You got any for me?
Nope, I sure don't.
All right. Okay. Hey, Tracy, I'm going to say this while you're on the line real fast, and then we'll hang up. I was going to make the announcement, but since you're on there, you know, I do another podcast with my man, Emmanuel Livingston, and he's back. He did his show today at 1:00, which I'm happy to see that he's back. He was out of town for a few days. Him and I are working on a project right now. We're going to do a live simulcast. So we're going to do one of the King and I shows outside, and we're going to probably do it down on Findlay Market. I'm working out the details now, and it'll be a lunchtime. It's going to be a lunchtime situation. So what I want everybody to do is start trying to clean your schedule out on a Monday, because we're probably going to go down to Eli's Barbecue down on down in Findlay Market. Eli's.
They got some good barbecue.
They do. So what I want to do is they're going to reserve an area for us, and we're going to set some things up. We're going to get everybody's schedule clear so we can all do this together. I want you. I want Crystal Wheelwright. I want all my sisters. I want everybody to come down and show some support. It's for the King and I podcast. We're going to work on that, and we're going to try to do a live simulcast where we can do something and sit down and eat some of that good barbecue and do the show live right there on the spot. I think that might be chill. I think that might be pretty good. What you think?
Sounds good. And I think that I heard you say that got some more podcasts coming on under your umbrella.
Yes. Yep. We got sports coming with the Bengals. We got the Who Day Live. Who Day Live is coming. That's January the 27th. And then, of course, the King and I. And then, of course, Wyatt-Live. And then I'm going into the season 4 of Wyatt-Live. I'm going to be doing that in the evenings. I'll probably do a 1-hour situation with Wyatt-Live season 4. And that's going
to be... you can't do nothing for an hour. It take you an hour to rattle off the topics you're doing.
Probably so. But the good thing about doing it at night is that I get tired and I know I got to go to bed at a certain time. When you're my age, you hit the bed at a certain time, and there's nothing going to keep me from getting in my bed at my bedtime, because I get up really early.
What's that, 40?
Well, yeah, heck yeah. Didn't somebody tell you? Who said something?
You in denial. You've been 40 for 5 years. You need to knock it off.
Damn, boy. Really? You gonna put me out there like that? It's been 5 years.
Yep. I told you that day when you said you knew who Tyrone Hill is. I said his ass ain't no damn 40 years old. Knock it off.
Hey, I used to play basketball with Tyrone Hill.
Bye, Wyatt.
All right, talk to you, sis. All right.
Bye.
Like I said, guys, look for it. We're all trying to coordinate our dates. We're gonna do a live broadcast down at Eli's Barbecue on Findlay Market, down in Findlay Market. It's going to be on on the King and I podcast. We're going to do it on a Monday at 1:00. I think it's going to be pretty fun. You can come down, get a plate, bring some money. I ain't paying for it. Bring your own money, but bring your attitude and bring your subjects and bring something to talk about. We're going to go live right there on the spot at our 1 p.m. time frame. We just trying to figure out which Monday it's going to be. Coordinate my schedule. Emmanuel Livingston's schedule is just, he a superstar. So he lives a little bit different than me. My schedule is pretty much open, but I got to make sure that I fit in the book. Yeah, we got to make sure we fit in the book. So just to let you guys know, it's going to be a Monday at 1 p.m. The sooner the better for me, quite frankly, before it start getting cold. I want some of this summer, because if it jump off right, I think it could be something that we can do maybe once a month or whatever. And then I want y'all to taste Eli's Barbecue. I tell you one thing, Eli came through for us one year. Remember that year during COVID? I was telling y'all on Wyatt-Live, I was raising money for the kids who needed some things to be able to do schoolwork at home and things of that nature. They were missing supplies. Because believe it or not, kids needed more than just the laptop to be in school at home. There was other things they needed. Some kids couldn't even eat because they couldn't get back and forth to school. These are younger kids. I brought a few kids out to the house. Y'all remember that? And we had school. In the crib. My nieces, my daughters helped tutor some of the kids during when we were on lockdown. And I'm going to take another call, but I want to talk about that lockdown situation, to be honest with you. I'm wondering how far behind our children are. Because remember, I was the only one talking about our kids should have been in school. I remember talking about our kids should have been in school and that they were falling way behind. Now, what those grades looking like now? And I've heard rumbles in the air about our kids are working from behind, and they're just not where they need to be, education wise. They already were behind. And now with the COVID and all that stuff, that lockdown. And what's funny is everything I told you about private schools were still going to school. Catholic schools were still going to school. The Christian schools, Charter schools were all going to school. The only kids that were not going to school were Cincinnati public school kids. And now you're wondering why the test scores are where they are and they working from behind. It's not a mystery to me. They were going everywhere. See, if everything was shut down during that time and these kids had nowhere to go, but these kids was going skating, they was going to the mall, they was doing everything else that involved touching and feeling and being around each other, but they couldn't go to school. Get out of here. Let me take this call real fast. Good evening, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
AP, bro.
AP, what's good with you? What's happening, man?
Man, it's all good. How about you?
I'm holding on, brother. What you got on your mind today, man?
I just wanted to call in because I was listening to our sister, Tracy, and she was talking about, kids shouldn't be around grown folks.
Okay.
I came up in an era where kids were around grown folks. My pops didn't have no problem with taking me to the house joints back in the day, to the black beer lot,
Yeah, I've been there before.
Things like that.
Now tell the truth, AP. Hold on. You said the black beer lot. What kid went in the black beer lot, bro? You know you kept your ass in the car. You know you sat in the car with a pop and a bag of potato chips and a hot pickle like all the rest of us.
Well, I mean, I'm already, you was outside taking the car in the parking lot, but that's where all the things was happening. Like to tell people, the black beer lot was the modern day big box store.
Yeah.
You could buy anything you wanted out of the back of some brother's car.
Yeah, that's true.
You had clothes. You had brothers who worked at the meat packing plant who hit licks and was selling steaks.
You know what? Cincinnati swap meat. That's all that shit was. Cincinnati swap
pretty
meet.
Much, yeah. You can get fireworks and all kind of fireworks back then. I mean,
buskins, the bakery shit,
jewelry.
You get anything you want down at the black beer lot. It wasn't just black beer. It wasn't just beer down there. That's for damn.
And I had a grandmother who ran the house joint downtown. So
okay,
it was about 2 blocks from Vine Street Elementary.
Okay.
So I like I said, I came up in an era, where your kids could even go, your parents could take you to the bars with them, So the elders back then, though, were more like mentors and teachers. They taught us how to sit and be able to socialize.
Mm. So do you think a kid today could take their kid into a bar or a nightclub and it just be okay?
My parents' first spot was the El Dorado bar downtown.
No. I said today's kid. Do you think a
20, no.
You think a 21-year-old girl could take her 6-year-old into a nightclub with her?
Well, you ain't got the kind of parents who got that thing, or the elders who you consider elders at their age now. They don't have that same mentality. They don't have that it was back then. It was all about house parties still and socializing. You didn't have to worry about fights breaking out and gunshots and So yeah, you could take your child with you.
Right.
You went because you was out to socialize. You went out for the drama.
Right. It wasn't many shootings. I can't think of one shooting that happened at Black Bear Lot. To be honest with you, that maybe I was too young, but that don't ring a bell. You ever heard of any type of shooting going on down there? Somebody murdered on the Black Bear Lot grounds?
Not that I remember. And there was occasional scuffles or whatever. Somebody might even got cut.
Oh yeah, because bro, they was down there. It was a swap meet. There's always gonna be some form of drama, but I'm talking about shootout. You know what I'm saying? Like what we would see today.
No, it wasn't like that, man. I think that's why they were able to do what they did, because CPD, they didn't have no real trouble there.
Right.
It was just a gathering of people, and people did what they did. They didn't cause no trouble, so they were pretty much left alone. There wasn't no raids and all that stuff. And like I said, back then, kids also knew how to be kids. You would sit your butt down, and you would be seen and not heard.
Correct.
And you would just soak in all the knowledge that the elders were spitting. You know what I'm saying?
I do. AP, let me ask you a question, brother. How do you feel about those guns being at Ohio? I mean, how do you feel about the rule that the Ohio State Fair is allowing people to come in with their concealed weapons? You okay with that?
I mean, bro, if I was born, I'd take mine.
Okay.
To be honest,
because people were doing
you
it.
know,
People were doing it anyway, right? Most people that had
right,
license were carrying their guns to the fairs and to the show and everywhere else.
right. And my only concern would be, you know, if you're gonna do that, make sure you got you a good holster where your weapon is very secure. Because you know, my thing is, I don't want a loaded weapon falling out while I'm on a ride. And if it hits wrong or something like that, it goes off and the bullet hits somebody or something like that. That would be my only concern.
Yeah,
But if
yeah,
I was going, I would take mine.
I understand. And let me just say this: one of the reasons why I don't really go anywhere, quite frankly, AP, is because um, the places that I like to go as a kid, me growing up, not a kid, but a young man, nightclubs and stuff like that. I used to like going to stuff like that. And that, that is really where a lot of drama jumps off. It might not even, it starts there, but it may not go down there. It might be somebody get into it on a Friday night and they see each other next Tuesday and pick up the beef from there. So it ain't always that the drama happened in the nightclub, but sometimes that's where it starts. You see a dude with another dude's girl and y'all get to beefing, or some girl got a new boyfriend and this dude now see him, and on Tuesday he see him again, and now they got a beef, and then a fight start and it break out to something different. But my point is this: I don't really go to places, and the reason why is because I don't trust people to do the right thing. That's just me. I have this radar about me. Have you heard? Remember the guys that just broke out of the jail here in Cincinnati?
Yeah,
Do you know they killed one of the dudes up in Mason, right? They
yeah.
killed the one kid. They caught another one yesterday. Guess where they caught him at?
I know they caught him. I ain't really looked at the story like
AP,
that.
they caught him on Fountain Square, down there on Latino night with a loaded gun. See why I ain't going to Latino night? It ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't like being down there watching the Latino dance and doing some of the Latino dance, the salsa and all that shit. It's people. It's the other people that I don't want to be bothered with. It's the people like a kid that would break out, a man that will break out of jail and be so bold to bring his ass down to Fountain Square after you done broke out of jail. And now, on top of it all, for the chaos agents who think all they do is shoot people, this boy had a loaded gun on Fountain Square, and you an escapee from from the prison. Now that could have went real bad. That could have went real bad.
But you know what I'll say about that, man? I mean, I look at it like this. I ain't gonna become a hermit. You know what I'm saying?
Neither am I.
Is my awareness heightened? Yes. But I ain't gonna let these, a handful of people make me be shut up in my house. I mean, that just,
well,
I can't even do that to my family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that, but you got to understand, there's a difference between going out to a nightclub and then going out to a restaurant with an evening with your woman. That's a totally different situation. You feel what I'm saying? Like going to Latino night or going to an event down on Fountain Square where, it's not really something that an intimate moment with you and your girl, or a family oriented thing. It's more engaging in what other people are doing. It's an activity. I just have I have a problem being around people because a lot of people, and it ain't just no small percentage of people. There's a lot of people out here, AP, that just don't act right. Just don't do shit right. It ain't a lot of people like you. It ain't a lot of people like you, bro. They ain't just normal. These are people that beef when you step on their shoe, or that are so they calculated stupid. They will break out of penitentiary and come down to Fountain Square with a loaded gun. I mean, it's stuff like that.
I get that. I mean, but again, like I said, I can't be a hermit, and I can't do that to my family. We just can't, I'm not going to stop living because of, and you said it's a lot, but again, we're talking about there's 40 at least blacks in our neighborhood.
It's
and,
what?
40, 45 million of us. And we all ain't doing what come up with it. It's just,
AP, this ain't no white, this ain't no black thing.
Is my awareness heightened? Yes. And I'm even talking about the others, I'm not worried about them too much. You know.
Yeah, this ain't no white. This ain't no black thing I'm talking about. The kid that broke out and was on Fountain Square was a white boy with a gun.
Yeah.
And the guy and see certain targets is what I'm talking about. There's certain places that I won't go, regardless of what people may want to call me. You know, I don't go certain places because they're seen as being soft targets. Now, my attitude might change a little bit now because of the new rule, the new gun rule. But let's be honest, AP, we all know a month ago, well, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, a movie theater and a bowling alley is considered a soft target in somebody's eyes who's gonna do some dumb shit. Yes or no?
Yeah.
It ain't now. Go in a bowling alley thinking you about to shoot it up. You might get shot before you pull your gun all the way out.
That's why if I go to a movie now, I'm sitting in the back. I'm not up front.
Yeah, but
I'm sitting in the back where I see you coming. I see whoever's coming through the little entranceway there. You know, and again, I carry. You know, and I try to be always prepared. Mm-hmm. But I'm still not gonna stop living. You know, I've changed my habits the way I do things. Okay. You know, where I'm not gonna sit at the back of the restaurant anymore. You know, things like that. Yeah. You know, I want to be able to see who's coming in the door and what they got. And, you know, as soon as I see you come out, this thing you look for is, you know, years ago I used to work for Wells Fargo. You know, you had cats getting robbed on these bank routes and stuff like that. Right. And there's things you look for. You know, if it's summertime and you come in with a trench coat on, something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got something under that trench coat in my mind, and I'm ready for you. You know, just like you said, my awareness is heightened, but I'm not gonna stop living because you know the people that are doing this stuff, they're a very minute speck in this pond. But
yeah, I'm not one bad apple, brother. One bad apple could ruin an entire fruit basket. You know, and I don't want to be next to that apple if he or she decides to be a ruin to the fruit basket. That's just me, man. That's just me. Unfortunately, we live in a world where we have to be a little bit more calculated in our moves because of what other people what they're capable of doing.
But in the same token, right? I mean, I don't drive a Mercedes like you do, bro. I mean, I'm striving to get to that point. But you can be stopped at a stop sign. You probably got a cat out here who want to carjack you. So, you know, whether you're in the theater or whether you stop at the stop sign and somebody start pulling your doorknob, starting to get in your car, and I mean, it's you know, but you ain't gonna stop. Good.
No, I was just gonna say you're right. I mean, I can get robbed any day. Knock on wood. Goodness, bro, you doing jinx a nigga. I'm just saying I can get robbed any day. Any of us can. If somebody down and out and really want it, they can rob you. But I'm not one to be fighting back and all that old shit. Whatever I got, you can have it. If you jump out on me the right way, it's yours.
But you know, there's some cats out there that you'll do everything they tell you to do. You know, where it's stripped down to your draw, and they will still shoot you. Yeah. You done gave them everything you got in your pockets, and they will still shoot you.
Sure.
So it's a different mentality today, man.
I agree.
You know, and like I said, but I'm not gonna let these fools stop me from living.
I hear you. That's why you strapped, right? That's why you strapped when you go your places.
I pretty much carry everywhere I go now.
See, and you know what? I ain't got no problem with that, AP. I don't have no problem. You know, there's people that don't want you to be able to do that. And you tell me, as an honest citizen, as an American citizen living in the United States, your constitutional right allows you to carry a weapon. Why should you lose that right? Because we only have certain small percentage of people that are not following the rules.
Yeah, I think we all should be strapped because, I mean, as we see now, you know, you got, like you talked about, soft targets. You got to, I think at some point, some of these schools are going to link up. And I've said it before in some of the chats, is that at some point we all going to be on the 4th of July or whatever it is in our little communities. And we're going to be socializing, playing dominoes and spades. And you're going to have a truck full of these schools come through, Some of them don't care about dying. Some of them will give up at the end when the cops come. Some of them don't care about dying. So if you get that kind of people those kind of people with that mentality, I wouldn't put it past them to link up 4 or 5 of them and come through one of our neighborhoods on the 4th of July and catch everybody in their backyards just chilling, relaxing and socializing. So everybody got a day off and shoot up the place.
Yeah, potentially.
I mean,
that can potentially happen.
I'm sitting out on my patio now, and I got my Roscoe with me.
Okay. Well, it don't make you brave for a situation. It just makes you protective about something that come your way, right?
Exactly.
There you go.
So
there you go. You got a lot of people that don't agree with that, bro. A lot of people thinking you ain't got no business with no gun if it ain't necessary. They just don't understand that, you want people walking around worried about if they mess with you, what could possibly happen. That's not being a bully. That's just not being a soft target. Do you understand what I'm saying, bro? Like, I want people to second guess coming at me. I want people to second guess themselves. See, I'm not going to mess with nobody. I'm not going to shoot nobody because I got my gun on me. My gun is to serve a purpose of protection, not to get my food faster when I walk in Burger King, not to make a bully move on somebody because I'm strapped. My gun is truly for my protection. And it also sends a message, even unseen, with it being concealed. My gun sends the message. The gun law sends a message that, hey, I don't know who I could rob. Anybody might have a strap on. It reduces the soft targets in our city.
And I've always said, too, that, the reason that some of our protests aren't taken as highly as they should be is because we should practice we talk about our civil rights and all this other stuff. We should practice all our rights, all our constitutional rights.
Yeah.
We should show up at protests strapped just like everybody else, like all these other people do, and let them know that, hey, we don't want no trouble, but we're ready.
You got sometimes send that message.
You got to set. You have to set a precedence and plant that seed in people's mind that, hey, maybe they ain't playing. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Maybe this ain't gonna be. We'll let them protest for a couple of days and they go away.
Right. I get it. All right, AP, you got anything else, brother? We about to get on up out of here.
No, bro. It's good talking to you.
Hey, I appreciate you. Hey, once again, AP, I appreciate all the support, man. I really do.
No problem.
Thank you. Appreciate
you. Much love, bro.
Same to you, brother. That's AP. I love it when guys support brothers. I love it. Some people, how do I keep this positive? Y'all know me. I can mess up a dream, but you got to understand that I know real loyalty. I know real committed loyalty. Some people can sit back and pump fake and talk about, oh yeah, I support everybody. I support. Nah, man. You ain't never heard me say I support somebody and not shout them out. I don't care what it is. I even said it. I was like, hey, bro, I don't want to see nobody starve. I didn't fed guys that I don't even like. I don't want to see nobody starve. But I'll feed you. And I feel the same way with support. I just stopped supporting people who don't support me. Now that's when you draw the line. Like, I ain't gonna keep giving these motherfuckers shout outs. I'm not gonna keep showing my love and support, and then I can't get none back. Now that's different. That's just a level of respect. Like, it's form of disrespect when you start saying things to people, bringing them up, dapping them, air dapping, which means you kind of giving them 5 or you giving them props and they not around. But then they have nothing to say, like they never say anything about you. And that's fine. Or they never hold you down out in public. And that goes back to that situation I told y'all I went through the other day Wait a minute, hold on, ghetto. Crystal says, Wyatt, did you see my comments? No, what about what? Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I didn't see that. Oh my God, y'all see one of my daycare kids just said to another kid, move, bitch. I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh. But you forced me to read the comment and I didn't see it coming. I read the comment. No, I didn't see that one. She says, now where do you think he got that from? See what I got to deal with? Yeah, Crystal, I'm sure you're not over there teaching them the ABCs or the cuss me outs. I'm sure you're not the one over there teaching them how to spell the B-I-T-C-H word. You're not over there schooling that. No, I get it. I get it all day long. That shit that is being taught at home. I mean, do I have to digress? Do I have to go back to this shit is taught at home? It ain't taught in the daycares. Now, I will say this. I shouldn't say this shit, but I'm gonna say this. I know somebody who has a family member whose son is a little bitty boy, and his ass ain't no more than 4 years old, 4 to 5 years old. He about 4 years old. And he done been kicked out of 3 daycares. You know why? Because he like to say shit like, move, bitch. Get out the way. I will F you up. I'll kick your MF. This is 4-year-old babies being kicked out of daycares. Crystal said this kid is 5. This must be his brother. I'm telling you, I know someone whose kid has been kicked out of 3 different daycares at 4 years old because of the shit that kid is learning at home. Now, here's where I have to say, thank God we have great daycares because of this right here. I don't think that those daycares should have to take those kids in and keep them just for the money, or because I know daycares it's hard work. First of all, I wouldn't take care of nobody's kids. That's just hard work for me. I'd have problems doing it. So God bless y'all that are doing it, Crystal and the rest of you. But I'm just saying, when you have kids that have that type of behavior, if I'm a daycare worker or owner, that kid got to go. And it's not because I'm just got to deal with this kid. It's what energy is that kid bringing into my daycare that the other kids could now go home and say the shit that they hear this kid saying, and they think it's cute, they think it's cool, and then they go home and tell their mama, move, bitch, get out the way. That's why those kids get kicked out of the daycare. Now, Crystal, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that y'all biggest preventative measure is getting those kids out of there because you don't want that energy passed on to your other students. First of all, I know you don't want to deal with a kid like that. You'd have to knock his ass out. But imagine, Crystal, sandbox. Imagine if this boy's mama dropped him off at your daycare. What would you do if this kid came up to your daycare? This little motherfucker right here, if his mama or his uncle dropped him off, it ain't enough money in the world. They couldn't pay 6 tuitions for his little ass. I wouldn't take double money, triple money, quadruple money for him to come in my daycare. Because I'm not going to be able to do anything to change what's going on in that kid's life. That kid is already to a point where he's going to need a psychiatrist. This kid has already got enough stuff indulged in his mind where that's going to be beyond what a daycare worker can do. We ain't even going to get started. You send his ass to UC Med, to UC, to child people, People that know how to get into the domes of kids. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Mama Deb is in the building, and she didn't have kids. She got grandkids. She didn't dealt with all kids. She said an ass whooping won't even help. You damn right. You'd have to, boy, as crazy as this might have to sound, you got to hurt this little motherfucker for real. You have to hurt him. All money ain't good money. And you know, I'm not saying this about the child because it's the child's fault. Y'all know this ain't that baby's fault. I feel sorry for the kid. I feel sorry for that baby because the shit that they laughing at when they see him at 7 years old and he over in the corner learning how to shoot dice with Uncle Bruce and them, they just priming him and prepping him to be in juvie. They priming and prepping him to be a hustler, baby. They priming him to be a hustler. And they teaching him how to shoot dice and do all the other shit that come along with the streets. Y'all done seen all them Instagram pictures. Y'all done seen all them little boys with guns. They 9 and 10 years old with guns. They had to the back a joint, not a joint, a whole ounce of weed rolled up in one Philly. They got a half an ounce in one joint, in one Philly in their mouth. And they ain't number 12 years old and got a 9mm and thinking that shit is gangster. Thinking that shit is cool. There's only one reason why a 12-year-old is carrying a gun on the streets these days. There's only one reason. And here's the sad thing about it. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Y'all ain't going to like what I'm about to say because you're going to think I'm wrong. You're going to think I'm wrong when I say this. But most 12-year-olds that are carrying guns on the streets, they're not really killers. They out to prove something. If they kill somebody, they pretty much got pressured into it. They didn't wake up one day and say, I'm gonna be a gangster. This is a learned behavior. Somebody's teaching them and somebody's giving them the courage and the strength to be able to pull a trigger. This is why I say parents need to be held accountable. Y'all can get mad at me all you want. You can say parents can't make the decisions for people. You got to understand. This is a perfect example of what I've been telling you, that if parents are not parenting early, it's too late when they get 9 and 10 years old. It's too late. And then when you say, well, you can't hold these parents accountable for what these kids do. Yeah, they took off on your ass at 6 and 7 years old. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. You can't say a kid just turned bad at 12 all of a fucking sudden. That ain't how it go. There's exceptions to every rule. Every once in a while, you'll be like, damn, he was such a good kid all the way up to 13. I don't know what happened. Let me tell you what happens sometimes. The streets will out-hustle parents. The streets will out-hustle parents. Bottom fucking line. If your kid out here getting into incidents and trouble and you letting it pass and you think it's a phase, them streets will get your kid before they'll take your kid over. They'll out-hustle you. It'll be more. The streets offer more kids. They it's like the military. They offer you more than anybody right now. The streets offer kids prestige, fame, money, and little girls. I was watching this thing. I forgot what I can't think of what it's called. It's on Showtime. It's narrated by Nas. And it's about the street dudes that were in Brooklyn, not in Brooklyn, but in Queens. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Team, what is it called? It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't really get into it because those are my days when LL was coming up. The gangsters of New York, they were all black guys and they were in the drug, they was making the money and they had all this name ringing and all this old shit. They got old videos of these guys partying. What's the name of that, Tracy? Team something I can't think of it. Dream something. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. It'll come to me. I could probably Google it right now and have it. But all I'm looking at is all these people kissing these. It looked like some Nino Brown shit. Everybody in the circle in the club around the money makers. Mount Vernon in the house, money making Mount Vernon. And I'm like, y'all are actually looking up to dudes that's tearing our neighborhoods down. You call them rich and everybody want to be like them. I don't get it. I don't get it. I can't even watch the shit because unfortunately that was me. I just don't understand how stupid I was as a person, as a young man. How dumb I was to look at that shit and think it was something special. The dumbest shit in the world. And we don't even check it. Supreme Team. There it is. Thank you, Tracy. Supreme Team. I shouldn't be. Yes, I should. I can promote this shit because it's ridiculous. If you watch it and look at it, I can't even get through the first episode. I'm watching Nas navigate it. You know, he's the moderator of it. And he's talking about how these guys was the shit and blah, blah, blah. And now they on the phone and they talking to him, interviewing them and shit. And they've been in jail for 20, 30 years. Still talking like they did in the 80s. Fuck it, what? In the 90s. Still talking like that. Still proud to be from Brooklyn. Still proud to be from Vernon. Still proud to be from Mount Vernon, money making Mount Vernon. Still proud to be from Queens. The fuck out of here, nigga. You in cell block B. Capital C, capital B. You're not in Mount Vernon. You're not in Queens. And people are sitting here acting like that was a prestigious, like they had the best life in the world. Their life is gone. And our kids who are trying to live like them in these prime times and these moments of their life, all these kids flashing money, they really, really think that's the shit. They really think that money is what make a man. They really think that money is success. I would love to teach one of these kids and tell you money is not what make you successful. It's what you do with money that makes you successful. Now, I ain't going to try to put nobody on blast, but y'all know I did a video. I was privileged to be in front of some kids at a video. Y'all probably seen this. What were them kids in there arguing about? What were those kids in there arguing about? Two kids was in there arguing about what? Oh, nigga, you broke. You got $60 in your pocket. That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. I mean, come on now. You know that's how beefs start. We have twisted our children's minds up to believe that if they on a grind and if they struggling and if they don't have what other people have, if they don't have what other people have, then they are less than, and now they can be made fun of. And it ain't cool to be smart. Oh, and I got something for the chaos agents. Don't sit back. Don't sit back because y'all just as fucked up as that whole process that I just delivered to you. Because you sit back and victimize us all the damn time. Everything that don't go our way is because of what somebody then did to us in 1962. You still talking about we redlined, we can't get property, we can't do this, we can't do that. It ain't we can't do it. The question is, first, do we know how? Ask that question first before you start talking about some shit that Al Sharpton and all these other dudes then put in your head that they living with perms. Al Sharpton still got a perm. I would be afraid of any nigga I know that got a perm and a suit wearing them all at the same time. How you gonna listen to that? Y'all can get mad at me if you want to. I'm just telling you what 2022 bring you. You can get mad at me all you want to. But this nigga that made a living off telling you what's fucked up for you. I'm going to get paid to show up, to tell you how messed up it is for you and how we ain't got nothing. Now, where's the motivation of showing you how to actually get something if once you get it, you don't need me no more. You don't need me no more. If I sat back and told everybody how to get rich, and the only way I'm gonna eat is for people who, if my method of teaching you how to get rich works, I can't get rich no more. Right? So what would make sense if I can come in and tell y'all how y'all can't get rich? Because chances are, you give me 100 entrepreneurs, 100 entrepreneurs, 1.2 will become successful at a point where they can make a living off their hustle. You see how tough it is? 1.2, that's less than that's less than 2 people out of 100 will get to a point where whatever that hustle is, they can make a living off of it and sustain their life for 30 to 40 years. 1.2. So if it take 100 to make just one successful at a point where they can just make a living, how many entrepreneurs do you think it takes to be able to make 1 millionaire? 8,000? Out of every 8,000 entrepreneurs, 1 millionaire can be produced out of that? That sounds ridiculous, don't it? Go look it up. You're going to have to do a little bit of math on your own, though. Because most people that start stuff don't finish it. I said what I said. That's not talking bad on anybody. That's being true. There are more procrastinators in this world than there are people that go full force. I might not be talking about you, but I'm talking about the majority of people. Most people give up. Most people give up. Let me tell you what I used to listen to a lot. Some people gonna trip out when I say this shit. Whenever somebody approached me about an adventure, business adventure, there's key words that I listen to. I'm gonna pass this game over. Here's a gem for you. Some of y'all already know this. There's a few words that I listen to in the conversation that they're presenting to me. I'll say, what you got? What's going on? Oh, this is this is easy. Red flag. Before they say anything else. Keywords. This is easy money. We ain't really got to do nothing. We can sit back and collect our dough. What's the other one? Ain't nobody doing this. Those are red flags to me. And the major ones are, all we got to do is sit back and collect our money. I don't know any hustle that you start out at the beginning, any grind that's worth doing, that all you got to do is sit back and collect your money. Ask my sisters that got daycares. When it's time to pay them on Friday, did they ask, sit back and just collect their money? It was easy Monday through Friday. And Friday come and they getting their checks or whatever from the parents. That's money well deserved. They work for that damn money. Ask a sister or a brother that got a client in their hairdressing chair or their barber chair. At the end of the week, when they count up what they made, do they say, all I got to do is sit back and collect my money? They work for that money. They bust their ass all week for that money. I don't believe personally in get rich schemes. They really don't exist. The get rich schemes exist for people that take advantage of people who want to get rich fast. Usually those are pyramid schemes. The more people you bring in, the more money you make. And then eventually when the dollar dwindles down to less than a penny, the pyramid is over. The scheme is over. So don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all been in that shit and didn't know you was in a pyramid. Somebody done told you to sell some juice or some peanuts or some old bullshit, and they didn't want you to really sell the juice. They didn't really want you to sell the peanuts or the cookies. They wanted your ass to recruit people. See, when you sell yourself and sell the program, that's how you make the money, not the product. How many of y'all been there? I'm gonna give you a perfect example, and then I'm gonna bounce up out of here. A few of you know that I'm into futuristic stuff. Okay, I'm a futuristic investor for myself, not an entrepreneur or not really a capital adventurist for other people in this. I'm going to speak a little bit about what I got going on because I want people to know. I generally don't share until I'm done with it. When I'm at a point where I don't have to worry about somebody circling back and interrupting my progression. I'm at a point right now with a couple projects that I feel like if I share it to my people, maybe some of y'all will reach out and say, hey, Wyatt, brother, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. How do I get involved in that? I may share an aspect of it that makes you say, I'm with that. How do I get involved? But one thing I will never do, I will never hold anybody's hand. If we were ever partners or if we were ever doing something in a business capacity, I don't hold hands. I don't bring partners on that I have to babysit. I don't bring investors in that I have to tell them what they're, how they money moving every day. If you can't afford to do it, find something else to do and work your way to a point where you don't lose sleep at night when your money is working. Some of you know that I collect land. I call it a collection because I buy land. It don't always have to have a tree on it. It don't always have to have an apartment building or a home on it. I buy the most precious commodity in America. And it's very simple. It's a 4-letter word. It's land, L-A-N-D. Land. And the reason why I do that is because I see the future. I see the future. I see the future of energy. I just see the future. And I'm betting on me. I'm betting on what I see. I'm not listening to somebody tell me what I'm not capable of doing. I don't want to hear somebody talk about, you forgot you black. That's the craziest shit in the world. You can't do that. They ain't, this is my favorite line. This is another one of them shits that I can't stand people to say. They ain't gonna let you do that. Excuse me? You know them folks ain't gonna let you do that. I heard a lot of that shit coming up. And I got a little small story to tell you that's very, very true. It ain't long. It's just on that same spot of, let me tell you something. And I don't care how you take it. I was told at a particular point in my life, because I had a contract with a city. I had a contract with a city in Ohio to provide a service for the school district. I happen to sell this business. Let me tell you what it was. I don't want to tell you what it was, but just follow me, okay? I provide a service for the school board, for the school system. And I was told by people, don't let them know it's you. But see, what they don't know is I didn't go plug for this position. I already had this outfit. I already had this place. The school board approached me for my services. But I'm hearing people that look like me tell me, hey, don't let them know it's you. But see, they don't know my business. They don't know how it started. So they telling me in this ear, don't let them folks know it's you. Because if they know it's your black ass, you're gonna lose that contract. You're gonna lose that shit. I didn't have nothing to worry about when it came to that because they approached me and they knew who I was. Now, let me tell you how I did lose it, because I don't have all success stories. You got to fail so many times to be successful one time. And this is a failed story. I promise you. I promise you to God, on my grandmother's grave, this is how this shit happened. This is how it happened. It took somebody that looked like me who found out I got this contract, who controlled little league football and the little league organizations in the city. It took one of them to say, I'm gonna do business with him. But then since he couldn't do me any old kind of way, because I'm not trying to do business like we down on the block. I got margins I gotta keep. I got a professionalism I gotta keep. I got a business I gotta run, and I got a family I gotta feed. And you're not about to hit me with that old bro shit. Bro this, bro that, bro this, bro that. And you running around here with all these little white girls as your girlfriends. So you can send all that bro shit on somewhere else. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. I have no problems with interracial. I'm just saying, don't use that bro shit on me. Don't try to manipulate me to be outside of what I need to be, and that is business. So you get your little panties in a fumble because I don't want to play your bro games. So what happens? Make up lies, that's his hometown. Turn his hometown community against me and my organization, my outfit. I'm not a homer. I'm not from there. So he does everything possible to let the whole community know that I'm a bad guy, that I'm this and I'm that. Now, keep in mind, I'm hearing things in my ear from people who told me, don't let them know that you black. You'll lose those contracts. All the white folks that I was dealing with was just wanting to make sure that I did a good job and produce what I needed to produce and keep on going. I got no trouble out of them. It took somebody that looked like me that messed up a $700,000 a year outfit that I worked very hard to obtain, to put together. Started with $30,000, worked its way up to a $700,000 a year contract for one organization, and that was the school district. It took one person that looked like me that dogged it all. It wasn't the people that my people was telling me, don't let them know. So I don't live by that bullshit. I don't live by that bullshit of that, hey, don't let them know. Shit, they ain't gonna let you. I don't go by that shit. And if you that type of person, I'm sorry for you. You're cheating yourself. You're cheating yourself. You're cheating yourself. Ain't nobody stopping us from doing shit. Ain't nobody stopping you from doing nothing. You probably stopping yourself, because first thing you got to get out of your mind is, who gonna stop me? And if you already got them in mind and you already know who gonna stop you, then you already done lost. Name me one professional football team that go out on the field and be like, y'all know we practice all week in that 90-degree sun, 102 degrees out here. Oh, on Sunday, you know we probably gonna lose. We gonna lose. Y'all know we gonna lose. You think LeBron James go out there in any game in NBA and say he gonna lose this one? You think Michael Jordan did that shit? I'm talking about greatness. People that are great at what they do. In my highest time as an entrepreneur, I would always say to myself, today gonna be a good day. I woke up every day saying, if I didn't get it yesterday, shit, today I'm gonna make it back twice. If you're not thinking like that, this game of making money on your own, you being your own boss, you being an entrepreneur, it's not for you. And then you want to back it up with more excuses than the motherfucker going to jail by, they ain't letting me. They ain't gonna let me. And then there's so many people that have backed that shit up. They will help you understand that you are not capable of doing something. Misery loves company. People love to co-sign what you can't do. That's easy. That's easy. You know what the hardest thing to do? The hardest thing in the world, you know how hard it is to be the friend of somebody that's just stubborn and gonna be successful no matter what? The hardest thing is, if you a true friend, you go through that shit with them. That's hard to do. It's hard to be true to somebody. It really is. I understand. You know why it's so hard to be true to somebody? Because most people aren't true to themselves. Most people aren't true to themselves. Listen, Kevin Gates said some shit that was so real. I couldn't believe this young man said it. He probably heard it from an old head, a vet. But I'm going to give him credit because that's where I heard it. He said, look, I spend a lot of time by myself. Don't that sound familiar? What I just tell you? What I just tell you yesterday? I'm a lonely man because I'm self-sufficient. Lonely people are the most self-sufficient people on this planet. You think Bill Gates got a ton of friends? Hell no. Bill Gates probably ain't got 5 people in his phone that he consider a friend. Now, he probably got 2,000 people he can call and they'll drop everything they're doing and show up because he benefits them. But true people, most people that are self-sufficient are the most loneliest. Because if you don't have to deal with nobody, you're not going to do it. I promise you. I promise you. And it was always the person who told me. It was always the ones that would say, hey, man, shit, don't put your family on that commercial. If you do a commercial, don't put your family on that shit, man. Because as soon as the city see that you black, man, ain't nobody gonna mess with you, bro. When they see, because we this and we that and blah, blah, blah. That's one of my biggest regrets of my life. One of the biggest regrets of my life was not being able to listen. I missed the ball. I missed it. I missed it. I was believing that shit. I was believing I'm supposed to be doing what I'm doing right now and what we doing right now. I was supposed to be doing this shit 20 years ago. Because what I found out is it don't take a lot of money to do what you do. It takes more knowledge than it takes money. So the first thing people try to make you believe is you don't have enough capital or enough money to do what you want to do. That is true to a certain extent. You can't come out the gate at full blast without capital. But you can do what you want to do without a whole lot of money. You just got to know how to do what you do. You got to know how to do it. You got to just know how to do it. And when you do it, you'll graduate to different phases. You'll get bigger and better. The best thing to do is to start out that way because you're going to make more mistakes. I would rather make broke mistakes than have a bunch of money and then start making mistakes. No, because when the money gone, it's over. I would rather learn the grind coming out the gate and grind. And trust me, this is the way. Because you're cautious. Your mistakes mean more. Your mistakes cost you more. You're more likely to make less mistakes when they have a higher penalty. You're more likely to do things, you keep your eyes open. This is why I tell people, they say, well, when you're in business, you go down to the bank and you get $100,000 and you're set. You go down to the bank and open up a brand new business and you take out $250,000, $250,000 for a bank loan. for a business that you're not sure going to work or not. You're going to work that damn thing to the ground. You're going to work all day and all night, and you're going to try to be as successful as you possibly can. But what you're not going to do is treat that money like you earned it. You'll never treat money better than the money that you earn. If you got a job and if you get a $500 check and you say, out of every one of my checks, I'm going to set $100 aside. And in 6 months, I'm going to be ready to get this machine to be able to do what I can do at trade shows or whatever I'm doing. After 6 months, you go cut a check for this machine. You will cherish that machine. That machine means more to you than anything. It's more than just the business. It's the sweat equity. It's everything you are. You put into that money. You put into that machine. You use your hard-earned money. Now, if I give you a check for $600 for you to go get that machine, you'll work hard at what you're doing, but you won't have the same passion. You won't have the same love for that machine because I gave it to you. A lot of these guys, they hustle, they get this money. I'm talking about fast money, and they do the money bad. You know why they do money bad? Because they have to earn it. Bad money. When you get money, when you get unearned money, you always feel like you can replace it. Unearned money is easy to replace. Hard-earned money is very difficult to let go. You don't want to give away no hard-earned money. Come on, man. I worked hard for this shit. This shit got to work out I'm trying to do. So then you work harder at what you're trying to do. You're cautious. I can't stand to take a loss. I work my ass off for this. I got a secret to tell y'all. I got a secret to tell you. You know how you sit back and you say, that's mommy and daddy help the white boy be all this successful and he this and this and this and that? You know how many of their moms and dads went out and signed on loans for them to start their businesses, whether it's a kayak business, whether it's a damn computer programming business, computer repair business, whatever it might be. You all stuck in the notion that, hey, what's crazy is they privileged, they get everything they want. Well, let me tell you, most businesses that fail are those businesses right there. We bitching and complaining about a failed project that's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years, possibly maybe 5 years. We got our panties all up in a bunch because we think somebody's privileged because they have opportunity to start somewhere that they really probably aren't ready for. I got to use this as an example. Some of y'all going to say I'm off base on this. Why would you have a councilman in the city of Cincinnati like a P.G. Sittenfield who had the world by the balls? Why would he get charged with extortion and bribery when he has a Princeton Ivy League degree? He has a doctor as a wife, and his parents have money. He's privileged, right? So why would he do what he was doing? Why? When all he had to do was sit back. You got almost $1 million in campaign money laying around. Now, y'all can say whatever you want to say. I know how them type of cats move. They're shiny. They look bright. They tend to make people feel good about them. But I've seen PGs my whole life. I've been friends with guys that are just like PG. Just be honest with you. I've lived several places in my life. I haven't just been in Cincinnati. Some of my real people that I grew up with, they know that. My time in Oklahoma, I met guys like PG. Privileged guys. First time I've ever seen so many people live in a house. Homes, real properties. And the kids, I was in junior high, these kids was coming home and didn't have to do shit, had new stuff, had motorcycles, drove cars to school at 15, because in Oklahoma, you can get your license at 15. These kids driving brand new cars to school at 15 years old. I ain't had that shit. I was on the yellow bus. I watched privilege before, and a lot of privilege shit don't really work out. Because you privileged don't make you smart. It don't mean you doing the right shit. It just means you're fortunate to get stuff. It don't make you successful. Even people that come from privileged families have to put work in to be successful. So I hate when people think of somebody because they've had somewhat of an advantage. You think because they've been advantaged in life that they're a sure success in life, and that's not true. It's just not true. And I don't know where we getting these notions from. Oh, I do know. I do know. I know exactly where we getting this false information. It don't come from white people. It come from us. It come from our own. It come from us saying how easy they got it, how privileged they are. And it's funny because some privileged people, some people that got it so easy, they have problems sleeping at night. They have problems sleeping at night because they know how much of a fraud they are. Meanwhile, we're losing a mental battle. We're losing a battle that we don't even, that the ops are not even fighting. We're fighting amongst ourselves in our mind, thinking that we're not capable of doing what somebody else is doing, or we don't have the resources that they have. You create resources. Am I saying that some people don't have advantages? That would be ridiculous. That would be ridiculous. I don't feel that way. I know that people have advantages. But don't ever say that we still living in the days that we're not capable of doing and moving mountains like everybody else, because I'm watching it. I'm just waiting for the people who bring it to our attention. Because the people that I listen to always talk about PG ain't going to jail. A year ago, PG ain't going to jail. Why is that? I just asked a simple question. Why? Why do you don't think what makes you think he ain't going to jail? It take a brainwashed nigger to say PG ain't going to jail because he white. These are the same mentalities that think he not going to jail because he's white. And all I could tell you is I'm not going to try to convince you. I don't have to convince you. All you got to do is go to the Bureau of Federal Penitentiaries. Just look it up. There's probably 13,000 PGs sitting in federal penitentiary. So I don't have to prove myself. The numbers, all that shit tell itself. PG gonna be one of them numbers. He gonna be a statistic, just like those type of people that he like what he is. He don't have to be an evil guy. He don't have to be mean, nasty, and all that. But I'm not gonna argue with the people that I told a year ago he going to jail. Federal investigation. I said, okay, that's gonna involve wiring, video, and audio. It's gonna also have probably witnesses that the federal prosecutors already have cases on people. What else? I mean, everything that I told you that they were going to have, it played out that way. Some of y'all can act stupid now, but y'all know what I said a year ago. I said he's fried. You telling me they did a 2-year investigation on somebody? They did a 2.5-year investigation on the entire Cincinnati city council. And you think they're going to miss when they get one? You think they're going to miss? I heard some conversation on Emmanuel's show today about Jeff Pastor. I've heard other people talk about Jeff Pastor. The energy, I promise you, it might change now because I've brought this to the forefront on people. The energy is going to be different when they start talking about Jeff Pastor. I promise you. The energy will be different. They're going to talk about Jeff Pastor like they know him. They're going to talk about Jeff Pastor like they know him and don't like him. But they're not going to say that more people who wasn't saying nothing about PG going to have a whole lot to say about Jeff Pastor. Let's just say that. Oh, he got on that jet. Oh, he took 40,000. PG took 40, but Jeff Pastor took 60. Fuck out of here. If you took $2, you're guilty. $20,000 difference don't make you worse. But I heard them talking on the Emmanuel show today, and they were talking about PG, not PG, pardon me, but pastor should take a deal. And I'm going to say this to you right now. I think, and I don't know this for certain, this is just me. I don't want to say an assumption, but this is kind of an educated guess. And that would be, I believe personally that if pastor was ever offered, because I don't know, I haven't read anything. I don't know if he was ever offered a plea deal. If somebody knows that he's been offered the plea deal, post it. Let me know. Don't just say yes, he was. Give me a little bit of detail. Yes, he was offered 2 years, with 3-year probation. Give me some of that. Give me a little bit of what you know what he was offered. But based on what I just seen in the PG trial, if Jeff Pastor was offered a plea deal 6 months ago, because it would probably be 3 to 4 months after an indictment, once you lawyer up and this and this and that, now your lawyer has an opportunity. Once they suppress all the evidence, now your lawyer gets an opportunity to review what's coming at your ass in trial later. They will give you a plea deal, possibly, and say, you sure you want to go on with this shit? You sure, Mr. Pastor, Mr. Sittenfield, y'all sure you want to go on with this shit based on all the evidence that we put in front of you? So if Pastor got a plea deal, it was probably 6 months ago, maybe 6 to 7 months ago. And I would say, based on PG's trial starting, any plea deal, and I don't know this for a fact, but I would think from the momentum that the prosecutor took into the PG's case, that momentum swing is going to swing over into Pastor's case. And I would think any plea deal that was offered is probably off the table. That don't mean it can't be revisited. That don't mean that they can't say, okay, now you seen what we did to the Sittenfield dude. Here's the other thing. There may not be a plea deal on the table for Jeff Pastor till after sentencing of Sittenfield. Pastor may not get another opportunity for a plea deal. And I could be totally off base here because there may be a plea deal pending on seeing what he's going to do. And they might say, well, let us know after Sittenfield gets sentenced. Then you let us know if you want to continue on with this case. That's a possibility. But then I'm just telling you that I don't know what's going on with the Pastor situation. I can read all I want to read, but the news media and Cincinnati.com, they don't know the intricacies of these cases. They only know what people is relaying to them because they're not in the closed door meetings with the attorneys. The sidebar conversations are a little bit different than what you hear in open court. You can never really get a true direction of what's going on in a courtroom during a trial. It's the sidebar conversations, and you hear the prosecutor, you can hear the prosecutor going in a certain direction. You can just feel a win or a loss. You can feel it. You can hear the defense. You can feel the defense, the direction they going in. You can feel if they feel like they behind or if they win it. But I would think, based on the momentum from the PG Sittenfield trial, there's probably no deal on the table for Jeff Pastor right now. I don't think there is. I don't think there is. And for y'all who are saying, oh man, Pastor, you better take that deal. If they give you a plea deal, you better take that deal. You better this, you better that. And for those that are asking, thinking that PG Sittenfield is going to get probation, he's probably won't. They offered him some time plus probation. You think he's going to get convicted and they're going to give him probation only? Where they do that? They offered you 2 years plus possibly 3 years of probation. That wasn't guaranteed. If he would have copped out, he might have got more time. That's not how they grade it. That's not how they do it at a federal level. They'll propose it to the judge. You can sign off on a plea deal, but the judge might come back with something different. He might say, okay, you pled out. You willing to take 2 years? I mean, that's what they did in Denard's case. The judge gave her less time than what deal she made. I think the prosecutor was trying to give her 24 months. And the judge came back on the plea deal and overran what they agreed to. Said, no, I'm going to give her 18 months instead of 24. That's a possibility for the PG Sittenfeld case. But I don't think it's going to work in the judge going to give him less time of whatever the prosecutors are asking for if they took that plea deal. I don't think it would have run out that way. I know it. I know. Well, it can't work that way now because PG didn't plead out. So you know he has at least the plea time coming, which is 2 years. And I know some people are like, well, he's facing 15 and a half months to 30 months. Some people talking about he's facing 10 years on each charge. That's not true. That's not true. And if somebody asked me, like if I wasn't standing here with y'all or whatever, even with y'all being here, if somebody whispered in my ear, hey, Wyatt, you want to see PG go to jail? I tell you no. I don't want to see anybody go to jail. I don't want to see the man go to jail. I'm telling you, he a family man. I don't want to see anybody separated from their kids. But you know what? Who does PG blame? I know who we would be blaming. I bet if it was only Tenard and Pastor who was being indicted and prosecuted and convicted, I know what the city would be saying. I know what the chaos agents would be saying right now. Can you imagine if it was just Pastor and Denard? Can you imagine what they would be saying right now? You put them blacks on there, all they want to do is convict us. You know them other people was dirty. And what's crazy about that whole situation is the same people that would be saying that shit, those are the same people right now talking about free PG. PG ain't do nothing wrong. He got railroaded. Them the same Negroes that would be saying if PG never got indicted and never convicted, they would be the same ones talking about, oh man, they messing with the brothers. They messing with the sisters. Now they know it was some other people on that damn city council who was doing some fraud shit, taking money. You know it was. Cranley, all the rest of them. You know they all taking money. So now you get one and you upset and got your panties all up in a bunch because they caught your guy. They caught your guy. Your guy took the money. I still say big ups to Denard. I mean, I ain't mad at the sister. She did what she did. Shit, she did what she did, but she stood tall. She's like, okay, yeah, you got me. Shit, all this evidence, shit, and I saved about $30,000 on an attorney. PG spent $1 million for his defense. How many of y'all Negroes who's going hard for him in the paint right now got $1 million to defend yourself on anything? And how much money of that 980 something thousand that's in his slush funds and all that shit, how much of that money is good? How much of that money might be dirty? How much of that is special interest money that came from big boys that don't fuck with you? They don't mess with you. These are people that he had in his pocket. How many of y'all wrote dimes and nickels and quarters? In other words, $10, $20, $25. How many of y'all wrote money to PG Sittenfeld's campaign and helped him get where he got? How much of that 980 some thousand is your money? I bet you ain't wrote him a dime. Where you think it came from? Who you think support him? I bet it ain't nobody in your circle. I bet if somebody wrote him a $3,500, what's the minimum? I think $2,500 or some shit, $1,100 or something. I bet you nobody in your circle wrote him an $1,100 check. Nobody in my circle did. So he ain't gonna never do nothing for me. And you still got brothers out here and sisters, free PG. And they're gonna have more in-depth information when pastor shit come out, when all that evidence come out of the recordings. They got him on video. They got him on recordings. They got him. They got him sitting in a private jet. They got him spending some serious money down in Florida. They got him. They got him saying, put me on the payroll. They got him. It's going to be a different situation. It's going to be a different conversation. But watch how different the conversation is. Watch how much of a he ain't shit. Watch how much of that he ain't shit. Oh, that motherfucker was going, man. That nigga ain't shit. Watch how much of that come up. But the white boy, the clean white guy, the nice guy, oh, they railroaded him. They did him dirty. Oh man. Free PG. That's what they're gonna be saying. Craziest shit I can ever see. I think that's my time. What time is it? Can anybody tell me what time it is? Let me look and see. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, I think that's my time. Let me make sure before I is that 7:26? Is that what y'all see there? Oh man. I think it is. I think it's lights, camera, action. I'm gone. Hey, let me say this before I go. Some people gonna miss this, but let me say it. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. The King and I, Mondays at 1 p.m. Mondays at 1 p.m. We got something special for you. E-Man and I, Emmanuel, the King Livingston, and I am Wyatt. We got something special coming up. We're gonna do a 1 p.m. Monday broadcast live down at Findlay Market at Eli's Barbecue. We'll get you the time. We'll get you the date. But it's going to be at 1 o'clock. Get ready to free your lunchtime. Come down and spend 5-10 minutes. Pick up some barbecue or something. Bring your own debit card. Bring your own money. Don't ask me to buy you shit. Matter of fact, you might want to buy me a little something. But all I'm saying to you is we're trying to put the date together now that's going to work for my schedule, for E-Man's schedule, and the restaurant. Okay? And they're reaching out. They want to know what we'd already know. We're going to do Monday, 1 o'clock. We just don't know which Monday. And we got to do the shit before Monday Night Football start. So it's got to be in the next month or so before, training camp and all that start. So make sure y'all tune in on Mondays at 1 p.m. and watch the new show, the new podcast we have going on, myself and Emmanuel Livingston. It's called The King and I. It's on Mondays at 1 p.m. And then you check him out each day at 1 o'clock, Tuesday through Friday. I shouldn't say that. Every other Tuesday, every other Thursday, every other Friday. I'm just playing, E. You check him out. Great conversation. Good guy. Really good guy he is. So y'all check him out at 1 o'clock, Tuesday through Friday. You catch us together Mondays at 1 o'clock. You catch Wyatt-Live Tuesdays at 5 o'clock, Tuesday through Friday. Sometime Monday through Friday. I sometimes come on Mondays. Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. July 27th, we're starting the Who Dey Live for y'all that are following football, NFL. July 27th at 1:30, we're going to be at the training camp of the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, we're going to see what these Who Dey, what is it Who Dey again this year? Can we win the division and go to the playoffs again and then back to the Super Bowl? Is that possible? We got an O-line now. We got an O-line now. Mama Deb asks, is the menu online? It's Eli's Barbecue down in Findlay Market. All right, and we're just trying to work out some logistics. We got to make sure all the internet and everything is hooked up so we can go live. I'm going to be right here. He's going to be right next to me, and we're going to be faced off. We're going to have conversations. We're going to eat some good barbecue. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have some ribs. We're going to have some veggie stuff. We're going to have whatever that menu offers everybody, and we're going to have it outside, and hopefully everybody will get a chance to meet and greet and see each other and do all that good stuff. And then maybe we'll do it again one other time with Wyatt-Live and do it at nighttime and do a dinner. You just never know. Let's see what happens. Let's take it one step at a time. Speaking of time, that's my time, y'all. Peace and love to everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I know it's Friday. I'm going to do my best to be here on Friday. And I'm going to do my best to be here at 5 o'clock on Friday tomorrow. Peace and love to everybody, man. Nothing but love to everybody. I'll holla at you.
My exes live in Texas like I'm George Strait. Or they go to Georgia State where tuition is handled by some random nigga that living in Atlanta. She only see when she feels obligated. Admitted it to me the first time we dated, but she was no angel and we never made it. I took her for sushi, she wanted to fuck, so we took it to go. Told them don't even play it, and we never talked so much after I blew up to somebody hello, happy belated. And I think I texted her and told her I made it, and that's when she texted me and told me she played it. And that's when I texted her and told her I love it, and right after texting her and told her I made it. She asked, what have I learned from getting richer? I learned working with the negatives to make a better pictures. I learned Hennessy and enemies is one hell of a mixture. Even though it's fucked up, girl, I'm still fucking with you. Damn, visit the fall. Time for me to revisit the past. It's women in the car. It's time to drop the slip in time. The service and tell me to do it all.
Sorry about that, brother.
You put the weed out. Double up.
Check it out.
Niggas get it and they fall off. It's cause they all soft. Nigga like me started at the car wash. 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's on a rainy day. Wise words, dope boys and everything. They say it's levels to the street life. Then I seen a bezel with that pink ice. All natural, mama tell you to be careful. In the trapping to increase capital. No longer cruising with the windows down. Hand on the pencil, anticipating the riddle sound. And Kanye when it came to Ye. And Jay-Z when it came to keys. And Snoop when it came to weed. So now they want to Biggie me.
Listen close, I got duct tape and rope. I leave you missing like the fucking O'Bannons. One hand on my money, one hand on my body. That's the AK-47. Make his neighborhood love me. Bullets like birds, you can hear them bitches humming. Don't let that bird shit. He got a weak stomach. Niggas know I'm sick. I don't spit, I vomit. Got it. One egg shot of the omelet. Simon says, shoot a nigga in his thigh and leg and tell him ketchup like mayonnaise. I'm the sickest nigga doing it. That baby. These other niggas know I'm rap baby. Yes, get back. Boy, this is setback. Club, yes, niggas slipping, fall into a death trap. Rest assured, I rest in the azure. Them boys pussy, born without a backbone. And if you strap, we can trade like the Dow Jones. With him up, I hope he got his towel on. I aim at the moon and get the howl on. Some niggas cry wolf, I'm on that dry kush. And when it comes to that paper, I stack books. You heard what I said. I could put you on your feet or put some money on your head. Life ain't cheap. You better off dead if you can't pay the fee. Shout out my nigga feet. See every monkey at the door don't get a key. You're outside looking in. So tell me what you see. It's about money. It's bigger than me. I told my homies don't kill him. Bring the nigga to me. Yeah. Don't miss. You fucking with the hitman. Kidnap a nigga. Make him feel like a kid again.